Hi guys, welcome back. All right, Ophiuchus, shall we jump on in and take a look at what is Ophiuchus's next adventure? We start with the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is somebody who's watching Ophiuchus, somebody who might like to play baseball. Maybe this is like, yeah, I always think of like Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams. I think of like, All-American baseball. So sorry to be so ethnocentric on this. It doesn't have to be an American playing baseball. It's just I'm an American, and I always think of that as like, kind of a beloved, like American thing. And so forgive me that I, instantly say that, but it is not just in the United States, of course, but we certainly have somebody who's like distracted in their thoughts. Maybe this is somebody who tends to, just that term play ball, they get out there and they're active in life and they're, movers, shakers, go-getters. But then when they think of Ophiuchus, maybe they lose a little train of thought because I'm hearing that song. Oh God, I don't know if it's Mary Chapin Carpenter. I don't think it is, but country singer. Uh, oh gosh, I feel lucky. It's something about like no. I'm sorry. I just can't concentrate. You're all I think about these days. I think it's Lori somebody. My mind wanders where it will. And when it settles right on you, I forget what I should say. I forget what I should do. I try to think about the cosmos and what goes round around the sky at night. Okay, that's the song. I think is it? Never mind. I can't think of who it is right now. Eight of Swords is upright. Hey guys, great to see you. We got Death card. We've got the Ace of Swords in the reverse. Okay, so Ophiuchus doesn't know this, doesn't care about this, isn't interested in this. Ophiuchus is long since over this. In fact, if they are texting, if they are spying, if they are trying to reach out, Ophiuchus might be saying, block, I don't know, I don't even get why they're reaching out to me. This is long since over. Ophiuchus does not have any interest in responding. This Eight of Swords is not Ophiuchus being stuck. This is them literally on the other side of the gates saying, I'm pushing them out. So Ophiuchus doesn't seem to want to talk to this individual, almost like they say this is over a long time ago. Page of Pentacles sideways. Okay, as much as Ophiuchus says that, there is still one little twinge of, but they must have wanted to say something. Look, this person is still operating as a page. Maybe we even have, okay, because the Ace of Swords in the reverse can be somebody who's not being 100% honest, or they're still kind of confused about something. So let's say Ophiuchus finds themselves, without knowing even why, they do look this person up once in a while. They notice that this person has looked them up, so then they can't help it. They notice that that person was online at the same time that they were, or they see this person is, obviously been spying on them, liked a picture, something like that. This all feels kind of like social media type stuff. Or Ophiuchus finds themselves going back and rereading an old text and they don't even know why, because they're like, this is over, this is done. I still don't get why any of this happened. I don't want to talk to this person, right? There is like a bit of a question mark of like, is this really as done and over as I'm saying it is, or is there some little amount of energy that still exists here? We have a Ten of Swords. Well, Ophiuchus is like, no, I'm going and getting like a tattoo on my back that says, we are never, ever, ever getting back together. Ophiuchus is saying, I think I'm just processing the ending. It's not that I want him back. It's that I'm reminding myself why it's over. So Ophiuchus could find themselves rereading old text messages or something along those lines. Delinda, thank you for being so patient with me, sweetheart. We've got the Chariot upright. Definitely, like Ophiuchus is saying, I am totally closing this cycle out and I'm only moving forward, and I am going to meet a man in spandex. That's who I'm going to go be with. Or I'm sorry, I'm just throwing that out there. I feel like maybe Ophiuchus is feeling more like healthy and more pumped and more active. This Ophiuchus could be identifying as a divine masculine, doesn't have to be. We have strong Cancerian energy, just talking about like their emotions are confidently moving forward. So I don't really think Ophiuchus is confused about this, but they might be confused about, what does this person want with me? Why are they still spying on me? Well, let's talk to them for a second. And I'm sorry to even bring them up or give them airtime when Ophiuchus is like, I'm over it, I'm done, I'm over it, I'm done. Hang on, let's go this deck instead. What's your reason for spying on Ophiuchus? Five of Wands. I don't know. I can't get him off my mind. Why do you think Ophiuchus doesn't want to play in the sandbox with you anymore? King of Wands. They might have, this could be an ex who moved on from Ophiuchus, somebody who broke up with Ophiuchus, somebody who said that they had to follow their heart elsewhere. Then why are you still, I have every suspicion, I already know where this storyline is going to go, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Why are you, if you left Ophiuchus, if you said, Ophiuchus, I've got to go, I've got to move on, I've got to follow my heart, but then they can't stop thinking about Ophiuchus, they can't stop staring at Ophiuchus. No wonder this is, I'm hearing Tom Petty, don't come around here no more. Stop walking down my street. Who do you expect to meet? Don't come around here no more. And it feel like that's Ophiuchus's, like, because I feel this kind of like frustrated, like, get the hell off my back, get out of my world, quit spying. Why are you spying? And maybe Ophiuchus then shuts down even more, like puts their, online stuff in a private mode, or just wants to, like close things down even more. Cause it's like, I don't get it. You left. So what are you still doing watching me here? Well, we see them with this crystal ball, and we see them with the magician, and they say, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm still thinking about Ophiuchus. And this is what I was going to say, but held my tongue. They made the epically wrong decision. I think this person argued that they didn't want love. They wanted to follow their heart. Maybe they wanted to travel the globe. Maybe they felt like they had missed out on opportunities to pursue some career path, or, some dream, some life path. I don't feel like this is them choosing some other lover instead of Ophiuchus. This looks like somebody who was, I have to leave. I have to go. I have to be single. I have to go do things that I love. And it's sinking in somewhere in their, like, back of their mind that Ophiuchus was actually supposed to be the person that they were with. They were supposed to have built the future with Ophiuchus. It's very much about, even though it's almost like their subconscious and their soul knows this, their big brain didn't. What is it then that you really want with Ophiuchus? Nine of Pentacles sideways. They want Ophiuchus to see them as successful at some point also. They're not too sure that they want to be single anymore. Four of Pentacles. Was this a person who didn't want to be married because they imagined that it would clip their wings? I'm getting Peter Pan syndrome. And please forgive me, it doesn't have to mean that this is a dude and Ophiuchus is a woman. It could be same-sex couple, reverse gender roles, does not matter. When I say Peter Pan syndrome, still, that could apply to any gender. But this is somebody who, I know it says that they were a king who said that they had to leave, but it gives the vibe of, I can't be in a relationship because then I'll be controlled. They looked at, like, having a partnership or a long-term connection as like the bridezilla that would then control their finances and tell them where they could spend money and what they could do. And they, like, didn't want that. They had to be free. I got to be free, baby. It feels very, I don't know, it's given a little cringe vibe on their reasons for, like, going off into, I can't be, just can't be. I'm young forever. I want to be forever young. Great song, but it just feels kind of embarrassing somehow that they tried to act like a grown-up connection or serious relationship would just so clip their wings. All of a sudden it's like, but wait, why was I thinking that? Ophiuchus, especially marriage with Ophiuchus, would have been amazing. Now they're recognizing Ophiuchus has this huge, like, wealth of maturity and a life that makes sense and a structure and an organization, and they're well respected in their community, and they do things that add value to their life and to the lives of others, and they build real connections, and they're somebody other people can rely on and count on, and they have, like, such a huge, like, now Ophiuchus is starting to look in their eyes like, wait a second, to be with somebody like that, it wouldn't have held me down. It would have been this tremendous boost. I would have had this amazing partner. I could have been married to this amazing partner. Ophiuchus was never going to latch on and take stuff away from me. Ophiuchus makes their own way in this world. Ophiuchus is, like, I was, if anything, I would have been the one who was latching on to their, hitching my star to their wagon. they're the ones that actually have built something. I think this person, look, they start out as 2 pages, but believed that they were a king who had to be free, couldn't possibly fathom a strong relationship because that would have, again, impeded their image of themselves as this person who had to be free to fly. But I don't think that they're making much progress in their life. By contrast, Ophiuchus is a tremendous success. So this person blew it with Ophiuchus. Just the fact that they're acknowledging how amazing Ophiuchus really is now, and that they wish that they had been mature enough to see that and not been like running from connections in the past. We go back over here to Ophiuchus, and I can understand even better now why Ophiuchus would be like, stop spying on me. You broke it off with me. You didn't want something serious. I don't know why you're still looking my way. We're done. I don't get it, but I'm going to go ahead and make a tattoo on my back that that is that permanent, that you can't be here. And then I think Ophiuchus is just kind of, it almost feels like this is like the little gnat that's flying around your head at a barbecue, and you're like, you're trying to blow it away. You're trying to get it. You can't quite not pay attention to the fact that it's there, even though it's not really wrecking anything. But I think then eventually you just get up and you move someplace else if a fly or a gnat won't quit buzzing around you. And I feel like that's what Ophiuchus is doing essentially. I'm just going to go ahead and move on. I just really want to move on. As I say that, we have the 6 of Swords. Ophiuchus is really kind of squashing their ability to peer into Ophiuchus's life. Ophiuchus themselves is getting further out of reach. We have 2 cards of motion. I mean, I'm not saying Ophiuchus has to like leave and move to a different town or city or anything, but they might actually choose to take a job someplace else. They might actually like the idea of changing something in their environment. They might stop patronizing a certain restaurant or bar if, they hear through the bartender, oh, your ex was in here. Man, they sure talk about you when they get a few beers in them. And Ophiuchus might just be like, I don't even need to hear about it. I'm going to go and, see another barkeep at some other pub. I'm going to, eat at a different restaurant. I don't really want people to, it's great for waiters to remember you and everything. That's really nice. But on the other hand, when you're broken up, it's just like, I don't want to talk about it. I'll go Greek. I don't know why I have this idea that somebody gets like Greek food, like gyros or something, and they're going to go to some other Euro purveyor just because they don't want to talk about the ex anymore. Just feels like Ophiuchus is really intentionally going in a different direction. And they're pouring themselves into new endeavors, things that they really want to do, career path moves. I feel like Ophiuchus's money is starting to look better. I feel like their sense of calm and peace is better. I feel like they're getting outside more. I feel like Ophiuchus's world, oh, look at this. They are putting the final nail in the coffin, and they are burying this thing. This is over. This is done. I don't want the ghost of the past. I don't want the skeletons to climb back up out. I'm done with this situation. I just want to look at my 10 of Pentacles. I want to get there. So Ophiuchus, they missed their chance with Ophiuchus. It's plain and simple. That's all this storyline keeps reiterating, is they lost their chance with Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is moving forward with great intention. You notice that we got little feet here as part of the butterfly wings. So it's like I'm hearing little pitter patter of Ophiuchus's feet, like, run away, run away. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go have this happiness instead. I'm going to build where I can build. I get this distinct impression again and again that Ophiuchus is moving into a new home, moving to a new location. It could just be serendipitous that they were going to be moving anyway, but they're like, I'm so glad. Now I know they don't know where I live. They're not going to have my address. Won't matter if they do drive by. Ophiuchus might like time on mountaintops right now, being up high, even just, taking little drives, or in this case, mountain biking, or maybe wherever they're going to live could be someplace that's like right over a small mountain range, or, even just be in like an upper story apartment or something that they're moving into. Everything feels like they're rising above it. And I feel like they're doing it in a physical sense also. If Ophiuchus finds themselves wanting to get the higher vantage point all the time, even in like, I'm picturing, once maybe I'm the only person who does this, but I have a very particular love. I don't want to be in a valley. I want to be up overlooking a valley and up on a mountain, not too high up because that gets annoying. It's way high up and a lot of snow, but you want to just be up like on a bit of a rise and then look across a flat valley and then see mountains off in the distance again. And gives you the feeling of an open horizon, but the shelter of mountains at your back. And that to me is like the perfect living situation, the perfect view, the perfect, I feel like I can breathe. Whereas this, even in other areas of life, it's nice. Like if you've ever climbed up on a ladder just to sit there, because it's nice to look around. I'm already 6 feet tall. You wouldn't think I would need any more height. But for some reason, it's always nice to kind of sit up and look across. And I feel like Ophiuchus is doing that because they're looking for the higher perspective here. It's not to be superior. It's to see the scope of what comes next in their life. It's like more of a metaphor, but they're doing something physical because it triggers like, this is what I'm doing in my life. I'm looking for the next chapter. I'm rising above things emotionally. I'm moving on. I want to be able to see into the far distance of where I'm headed. I want clear visibility. All of that is the way I would put this in my mind's eye. Ooh, and we have the blue butterfly. So this is very rare. We had a green butterfly here, which of course that's because it was a pentacle card. And now we have the 10 of cups. Blue is a very rare color in nature. And there's almost nothing that's truly blue pigmented in nature. The animals that we see that are blue, like the butterfly, that's that iridescent blue, it's actually because of this amazing like bioengineering of the butterfly's wings that have like these serrated edges and it reflects the blue light. But they're not actually pigmented blue. And I just thought that was kind of a fascinating thing because it's so rare. So I'm going to say, I think Ophiuchus's next chapter of their life is going to be really special and it's going to be really rare. Again, we see them finding this sweet little house with love on it. And it is like up above the, I think those are cornflowers or maybe flax. Actually, I think that's the same thing, right? Cornflower is flax. I guess it could be other. There's not a whole lot of blue flowers out there, though. There's not a whole lot. So I'm going to stick with that because that's what it looks like to me. But it could be flax. Maybe somebody has that growing around. It's kind of grows like a little bit of a weed, almost more than a flower. It's very beautiful, very nice color. I feel like this is going to be a rare love story. I think the changes Ophiuchus is implementing in their life are taking them into new directions that are going to bring them, well, in this case with the Queen of Swords, it's going to bring them like exactly what they wanted. Their parameters of what they're content with, the kind of person they want to meet, the kind of lover they want to have, the kind of home that they want to live in. A Queen of Swords is quite cerebral and she has great boundaries up. And I would say unbelievably, Ophiuchus is going to get everything that they want down to, if they wanted a white house that sits slightly up on a hill, that overlooks a valley, that has blue flowers that bloom, that are wildflowers, they'll find exactly that place to live. If they want to have a pollinator garden, they'll have exactly that, or it'll already be there when they find a place to live. If they want, like an area where they specifically get a certain vantage point, or they want their job to like pay them to move, I think Ophiuchus is literally manifesting every detail to the minutia, which we don't usually see. Lots of times we have characters that, they start to like look toward their future. If Ophiuchus wants to have 2 dogs, not just one black and one white, a lab and maybe something that's got a little German Shepherd, wolf dog, maybe one of the Carolina dogs mixed in, they'll probably end up with exactly that. It's very much, this Ophiuchus is able to see what their future really looks like because they're actively creating it from their mindset. And I do believe it is because they are closing all the energy that was once connected to the ex. Anything that doesn't make sense, anything that they don't want in their life, when you stop hemorrhaging energy to things that keep trying to, knock on your door and pull you off your path, it's amazing how much you can accomplish. And this Ophiuchus is so streamlined. I do think that they're going to meet and fall in love with somebody who could be an avid bicycle rider, even if Ophiuchus isn't. Ophiuchus may not care at all. I never know how people can ride on those bikes with the little bitty seats. It just looks so uncomfortable. and the bent over with those handlebars. Like you give me a big old like banana cedar with a big wide, I'm an 80s kid. So like that's the kind of bicycle that I like, the big Schwinn's, with the big tires and the handlebars that are way out here. And you sit upright. Like those are my kind of bikes. These ones, man, I admire the people who can do it, but I am just not one of them. But I'm just saying that because this does not look comfortable at all, but I cannot tear my eyes off of this card. So Ophiuchus might wind up with somebody who is so much of everything that they pictured in their world, their life, even saying, it'd be nice to match with a partner who has their hobbies, things that they love to do. Maybe Ophiuchus loves biking also, or maybe they have a different hobby. They're like, I'd love to meet a partner who does slightly different things. So we each like respect each other's, individuality. That's a new word. Maybe Ophiuchus wants to write some new words. But this just feels amazing. I've never seen any character who was manifesting to that precise level of like exactly what they're thinking is exactly what they're going to receive. It's funny though how the X was really just a cliff note. It was simply the only reason that was so relevant is because it cutting the X out in this storyline was the reason Ophiuchus is actually able to call in the right person. It's because their energy is no longer being siphoned off by an ex who keeps, trying to get back in, trying to knock on the energetic door. Like Ophiuchus is just not having any of it. And I think that that's really nice. Oh, Voyager 2. I love picking blackberries. Yes. Delinda, thank you again, honey. NES, yeah, could be bluebells too, for sure. Carrie Wilson, great to see you. Nishta Chatu, thank you, honey. So delightful to see you again. Patricia, hi, girl. How are you? Carrie Wilson, that's so funny. That's hilarious. Did you come on right as I was talking about Greek food? I was literally picturing like souvlaki and tzatziki. Oh my God, that's so funny. What perfect timing. I swear I did not even see you in the chat. So Lulu, Nikki O, 01 Frequency, Baby Boy C, shout out to you in Texas. Annie S, you were first in the house. Oh, thank you so much, honey. Good to see you there in London. Taurus is next, just so you know. We're going to get to Taurus, and then when I get back tonight, Taurus will be the last one, and then I'll take a break, and I've got to be gone for a couple hours, but then I'll be back. Yes, Delinda, well said. The universe is not on a budget. We can ask for whatever we wish. I love that. Right back to you, Voyager 2. Thanks, babe. All right, you guys. I'll see you in Taurus next. Bye.